Hi everyone, good evening.
Hey everyone.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, how is it going? Isn't it getting colder in the room? I'm so glad I'm sitting here. It's so much warmer. Cool. So, hi everyone. It's a pleasure to meet you. I am Abhishek Thakur, but you can call me AT for the sake of simplicity and for the sake of avoiding mass confusion. I have met at least 5 Abhisheks so far, and we are enough to make our own giant volleyball team. Anyways, I head strategy and monetization for PhonePe, and I have been privileged to be in the ad tech value chain across the last 11 years. This is my first iMedia summit. Trust me, being a strategy guy, I had to steal this spot from my sales counterparts. So I am looking forward to soaking in all the wisdom in this room. Speaking of wisdom, we have two special gentlemen joining us for this session, Arun and ABR. So why don't we start with introductions?
Yeah. Hey everyone. Before I start, the first question I get from everyone is, what do we address you, Bharadwaj or ABR? So I'm popularly known as ABR in the industry, while Bharadwaj is my first name. I head D2C PNL at Mama Earth, and over this industry since last decade, seen those days from old e-commerce days wherein, growth was the primary lever to profitability these days, the quick commerce days, and the impact of D2C marketing onto your other levers of channel growths, like offline, omni-channel, everything, right? Yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Arun. I lead marketing for Subway in India, primarily taking care of the brand, the media, performance marketing, revenue as well as the profitability. I've close to 19 years of experience, primarily in retail with brands like Domino's, now Subway in QSR, Bata in retail, with some tech experience as well with the telecom players as well as Samsung in past.
So we have established we have experts in the on the stage. So I'll set the context for what we are going to do in this session. We'll talk briefly about the strategic importance of deals in a brand's marketing strategy, then how to optimally configure a deal, and then also try to understand what are the best practices to follow and what are the pitfalls to avoid. I know Vivek mentioned that no longer are people stepping outside their homes where they would kind of wrestle traffic and try to get the best deals. The composition of the audience has changed, but let's hear it from you and try to understand. So my first question is to both of you. What kind of role does deals play in your marketing strategy, and what are the key objectives you are trying to drive from it? So ABR, you want to go first?
Yeah. So before we enter into the deals part of it, right? Like all of us in this room accept that, the PMF is a strong hook lever for any brand, right? The PMF is like, threshold or, launch pad, and deal is something like a propeller for you to fit into the consumer's journey. If you don't have strong PMF, whatever amount of deal you give, we won't be able to satisfy the consumer. But with strong PMF, deals are like icing on the cake. And the way we look at deals is, right, we have two ways you can actually get a consumer on board. The way you market it. We pay a lot to Meta, Google, connected TVs, whatnot, all branding images. So the thought with deals is, instead of investing on these media channels, right, what if we actually give that back to consumer? Don't invest on them. That part of discounting strategy, if you actually give back to the consumer with the right PMF strategy, does that actually gratify consumer? And in many cases, yes, that's the answer. So that deals are like a competition between your marketing strategy so that the consumer falls love with you and then you can take it forward.
Got it. So it's an acquisition channel where you are actually rewarding your customer instead of spending that away on marketing.
Exactly. And precisely in an omni-channel world, right? Like consumer knows your pricing differentiation across all the channels. And when he sees that specifically, okay, and he feels that gratification, and that actually enhances his lifetime value with the brand and the stickiness with the brand.
Fair enough. How is it at Subway?
My experience is actually very different. Unlike FMCG, QSR is a very different ball game. To be honest with you, there is no brand loyalty as far as consumers are concerned, right? As soon as you get your food, you want to have it, yes. Right? You just open the box, you don't look at the brand, and you are into your occasion. Our brand is primarily about occasions. So deals are not about heavy discounting only, but smart constructs. So in our business, new customer acquisition, primarily Gen Z or the early jobbers, millennials, get converted through deals. Then it is about, once you have built up a sustainable base, so to say, it is about the existing user frequency also. And then when you move on to occasions part, wherein say, for example, if a particular product is being consumed during lunch and dinner only, how can I make it more relevant during breakfast, during snacking hours, is where the deals also come into play. So to us, it's very core to our business. That's why you see so many deals on Swiggy and Zomato for every possible brand.
Yeah, absolutely. I think who doesn't know sub of the day? I think that's personally why I used to go to Subway and see which sub of the day. I used to love the chicken tikka and the chicken teriyaki, meaty stuff, yes. But that was one of the reasons I went to Subway, and from then on, I became a loyal consumer. Cool. Moving on to the next question. Could you help us understand how do you leverage customer data to design effective deals? Like what should be the duration? What should be the level of discounting? We would always obviously not want to leave money on the table. But at the same time, we don't want to lose users to competition as well. So how can we approach the science of deal construction and fit it into our marketing strategy?
I'll answer this specifically from a D2C construct, right? Like in a D2C world, you have a large amount of first-party data. We can literally look into the acquisition channel of the consumer, the acquisition timing of the consumer, and look how much time did the consumer spend with your brand over the lifetime, predict those churning behaviors, look at the subcategories where they have been acquired from, cut those by various data points, and try to nudge them at each and every instant of the time. For example, a consumer who was acquired from a particular subcategory, his behavior might be entirely different from another subcategory acquired consumer. And this can be varied across channels as well. A consumer who comes organically onto your platform might stick with you for a longer time than a paid media acquisition. With this data cuts, you can actually look at if a paid media guy is actually churning out, right? You can time the nudge, or you can, WhatsApp has been so penetrating these days, right? You can probably send a WhatsApp commerce, or even on Meta, Google Ads, right? Like you can publish your deals and get them back onto your platform, right? So these kind of cuts actually help.
Fair enough. Now, this makes sense for an online first brand, and Subway is also an online first brand, but it has a very significant offline presence as well. And in these scenarios, if you actually go live with a certain deal, it applies to a larger customer segment. So how does a brand like Subway go about designing their deals with science?
See, I mean, data is at the core of it. I would like to start with that. What is consumer expecting out there in the market with such a cluttered competition in place? What can you offer basis what your P&L can support is the first starting point. Then from a standpoint of the fact that aggregators are the biggest sources of new customer acquisition these days, so there are very simple constructs on their platforms. And it's a 2x3 matrix, which says new to brand, repeat to brand, and P1, P2, P3. P1 is least affinity to discount, P3 is highest affinity to discount. And that's how you plan where you as a brand fall in which particular quadrant and what you need to attack. So that's, becomes the second point. Third being, most of the times, you mentioned about sub of the day. Again, it's a very data-backed thing. So for example, while you have 20 subs on the menu, but like 6 or 7 subs will contribute 80% of the sales.
Yep.
However, when you look at balance of the products, it isn't like that they are, not good. The ratings are much better than these products, but maybe priced slightly higher. And when you bring in this kind of a concept, so what happens is that if, for example, a BMT or a tuna is the most premium product of Subway, and I usually have a regular product, like say, for example, an aloo tikki or a chicken strips. One day when it is available, I basically give one of my consumption occasions to Subway. And that's how repeat frequency kicks in. I mean, Subway has, I would say, the most, within the QSR landscape, from a repeat user standpoint, I would say a much higher frequency as compared to others. So these kind of science, occasion knowledge, or and consumer behavior data is what goes into constructing deals for them.
And adding to this, right, like we spoke about the initial part of consumer journey. Now, after he makes a purchase, we collect the NPS and all the customer ratings part of it. And there you can also precise your deals accordingly. For suppose someone is unhappy with you, you can probably inquire into why is it and probably price a better deal for him to repeat on your platforms. And that's the post-purchase journey over there.
So it's pretty clear that consumer intelligence plays. See, obviously in a country like India, the pricing is fairly standard for everyone, but the level of discounting you can offer to different consumer depends on your ability to understand who's who. And once you are able to do that, you can actually understand the willingness to pay or the willingness to, at the price point at which they would probably want to engage with the brand and then offer them exactly that. So that's super interesting. My next question is, however, to understand how do you go about timing a promotion? Now I know sub of the day is a daily construct, and it's not just here in India, it's globally a daily construct. But I would want to understand from you more specifically. I saw that there is an OMG sale live today on Mamaearth. So how do you time the promotion? What number of deals is too much? What number of deals is too less? And when should you do it? What kind of consistency you should have? So can you help us understand that?
Without largely opening up the strategies, probably I'll be very precise here, right? Like, let's go back to the old retail days. What does it say, right? Like, you need to be there where your competitor is, right? Otherwise, you'll miss out on the demand. So if there is a jewelry shop right at the center of the market, and if consumers are coming, and if someone wants to compete with them, the best place that the marketing MBS teaches is like he has to open it right the next door. The same philosophy applies for deals in timing them, right? Like, which is where largely you see all the Flipkarts, Amazons doing their big billion days or these sales, Great Indian Festival sales overlapping. That's because the consumer demand at the end of the day is consistent. Like, and if you miss out on the deal to your competitor, the demand is sucked out of the market, right? Which it's important for the brands to be in line with their competitors specifically, and you need to predict that. And you need to be timing them before in such a way that the demand is maximum and you leverage on it.
But that sounds like I don't know the better word for it in English, but majboori. Because if you're not there before the competitor, you lose out. So it's invariable that if Flipkart is doing a sale, Amazon has to do a sale on that day. So what might happen because of this is if one of the brands starts discounting deeper, the other has to, otherwise they lose the customer. So outside of competitor-based timing, and is there anything else about the frequency of deals that you can help us understand?
It depends on brand to brand, but specifically from FMCG perspective, what I can share is seasonality is also a very big lever in promoting a deal, right? Like, for example, it's a summer season. Sunscreens are like on the top of the notch. People use sunscreens. It's a winter season. Like, people do use moisturizers. Now, there can be two ways you can think about it. यार summer चल रहा है तो sunscreen anyways लोग खरीदते हैं, right? So probably should you be discounting on moisturizers or vice versa? Demand तो sunscreens में है. So if you discount on them, probably will the P&L even look better? Are these kind of signs which we look at, and adding to it, we look at data points and then promote the deal actually.
Fair enough. Now, I think we have a fair sense of how to build a great deal, how to use our customers' data. But once we have the great deal in place, how do we actually market the deal? How do we distribute it? I know we have our owned and operated properties, the brand website, the app, social handles. But what are the other channels outside of your owned and operated properties that you use to promote the deal? Arun, you wanna go first?
Yeah. So Abhishek, I mean, unlike in the past, wherein even a deal would go on a television or on a print ad or on a radio or on a billboard, so to say. I mean, things have changed quite a bit, especially in the last 3-4 years. Now you have many platforms wherein there is a huge mass of in-market audience. This need not necessarily be Zomatos and the Swiggies of the world only, which is like the consumption moment. But for example, the likes of Book My Show or any other platform, like PhonePe, for example, wherein you have a significant, base of active users on the platform, and one can leverage or time those things basically to create a queue or leave a queue about the consumption occasion or the indulgence or the drooliness about your product or the offer to convert that into an occasion. for yourself. So today, if I may say so, until and unless you have a very strong proposition, which could be like path changing for the brand and the business, putting money on mass media generally is a waste of money. You have sufficient platforms available, wherein huge, again, as I said, mass is available where you can put out your promotion.
So you gave us a topic for debate during the networking dinner, whether spending money on mass media is waste or not. But fair point. What are your thoughts, ABR?
Again, I'll answer it from a data-driven perspective, which we discussed. The way we look at it is we cut the data into, again, two parts. The deal has to be either promoted to your new user equation, or probably you need to ensure that you communicate to your repeat users, right? From largely repeat user standpoint, the game is fairly simple. They're already in your bucket, in your brand's bucket. So WhatsApp has evolved over time. SMSs are there, push notifications are there. So largely, wahan pe spending on mass media is definitely a waste of time. So for brands where the repeat percentage is significantly high, which in fact is for good brands, wherein the brand has penetrated, there the deal promotion is not a challenge. You use your own challenges to promote the deal.
Fair
but
enough.
The challenge is actually communicating this to the new users. That's where what happens is, slightly the engines like Meta, Google, or, partners actually give us curated customer cohorts, which are price sensitive users, where we actually push these rules forward. Yeah.
Fair enough. There is one more question I had in my mind. How important are deals in maintaining your brand images and helping you prevent markdowns? I think typically, if there are constantly a lot of deals being given, or if there is deep discounting happening on a platform, it may lead to some kind of brand reputation damage, where people start attributing you to not so premium brand. Do you think deals helps in this area, or it doesn't matter?
That fairly depends on two factors: the level of discounting to MRP which we are actually incorporating, and the frequency of deals which we are actually promoting. Within a month or within a quarter, if you run a deal once in every 7 days or once in every week, consumer को आदत ही पड़ जाएगा, तो यार ये तो मिल ही जाएगा, right? Like अभी खरीदूंगा तो I'll get it at a later stage of time, right? So the frequency of optimization has to be played very, very smartly over there, right? And there is a very thin line of difference between being that discounted brand versus actually that gratification to the consumer.
And this is exactly where I think, in addition to the data we have about the customer, doing extensive market research also comes in handy, because there are qualitative insights which can help us understand what level of discounting is actually affecting your brand image. Cool. While we will move on to the audience, you had something to add?
Nothing more, honestly. If you allow discount to become the face of the brand, then it's a doomsday scenario for you. So, but you have to be smart with respect to how you put out any kind of discounting. And I'll just take the example from competition, KFC. So, the entire QSR category, burgers and pizzas, used to do buy one get one promotions very frequently, which used to cater to big or larger group consumption occasions, and KFC didn't used to participate in that. They didn't have anything to offer as buy one get one, for example. Burger is a very small share of that. Fried chicken is the biggest. And bucket at that point in time was not big for them. What they started doing on Wednesday was when others were doing buy one get one, promote their bucket by giving discount as much as a buy one get one, which is up to 52% discount, right? What it has managed to do is create give them a huge share of group consumption occasions. And today a Wednesday is as good as a Sunday for them.
Yep.
So, but it hasn't become the face of the brand in terms of the KFC being a discounted brand.
No, absolutely. Makes sense. So while we will open up the floor for audience questions, PhonePe had a special announcement to make. I think we all understand how there is a price-sensitive, value-conscious audience sitting out there in India. And at PhonePe, we realized that given the kind of scale we have of about 550 million registered users coming to our app, we realized that there is a potential for us to connect brands to these deal-seeking audiences. And for that, we basically launched something new. If you remember, I'm a strategy guy, not a sales guy. So I'll let the video do a job, and I'll take thanks. Thank you.
Here's a game-changing deal for your brand. Introducing Deals by PhonePe Ads. To supercharge your brand's growth and take it to the next level. Everyone loves a great deal, and Bharat is on a hunt for the best deals right here. We understand that you want to build hype for new launches, leverage sale seasons, liquidate inventory, and leave your competition behind. And all this while getting the biggest bang for your buck. Big deal, right? PhonePe ads help you reach Bharat like no one else, because PhonePe truly understands digital Bharat. And with Deals by PhonePe ads, you can draw in more customers, create undeniable brand love, clear out stock in no time, boost your cash flow. How? Just create some exciting limited time offers and watch the right customers roll in. Bharat's favorite brands are already winning with Deals by PhonePe ads, with up to 25x increase in ROAS among early adopters. So, you want to scale up your brand and real quick? Try out Deals by PhonePe ads. Let's seal the deal.
Superb. Thank you so much, everyone. I have to thank these two gentlemen for sure for giving your valuable time. Thank you. Sure. By the way, there is a brand which did deals with us among the early adopters, and it got a ROAS of infinity. So if you can find me during the networking dinner, I'll tell you how.